So Bitcoin slipping below 95K. Things are getting proper messy out there. Is Solana about to capitulate? Is Dupe going to hell? Guys, I'm talking about these two today. We've got tons of other Sol ecosystem plays as well. I'm talking some things that are performing like BNB, and we're talking Sonic and those types of things. But guys, it's messy out there, but we got an absolute banger, and I think we got some entries coming if we do get a deep move here. So let's get right into this. Guys, and remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, and even if you're getting rinsed at the moment, we all getting rinsed together, okay? The market is absolute filth at the moment. I must say, it's we were saying earlier, it feels worse than ever. I mean, it's
ever.
Really...
Like ever. Sentiment is just screwed.
Say disgusting.
Disgusting.
Okay. Guys, it's disgusting out there. I have no words. This Dupe situation is unreal. Look at this thing. This thing is getting absolutely rinsed now, 15% down. And I'll try to trade that thing earlier. I got a 5% bounce out of that thing, and then they sent us straight back down. So now we are hunting a new weekly level on Dupe. I'm going to show you that one. There might be a bounce coming in the next capitulation wick, I would guess. It is around the corner. But overall, absolute mess, absolute dog show out there, and you can't be blamed for being a little bit frustrated in the current market conditions. We were saying just now, these market makers better figure out how to pump this market very quickly, or they coming to McDonald's with all of us. Okay, we'll see them there, and we'll talk about it there. Okay, guys, let's get into Bitcoin. Let's see what these guys are doing to us now, and let's see if we can unrinse ourselves here in the current situation. So again, another choppy day in the market, and I just want to show you guys one more time the size of these wicks and the way these guys, I mean, I don't know how to explain this without swearing and using profanities, but look at that wick yesterday. We had a pump there, monster rejection off the VWAP. Look what happens today. Beautiful ride up. What happens? Monster rejection off the VWAP again. Thomas, you are 100% correct. Inverse bull coming in hot. Disgusting. So what are we doing now other than enjoying the chop? So if you are a scalper, you are cooking, okay? I mean, today we got a 5% move out of Dupe, and I was looking for bigger, so I did the full round trip on Dupe. But if you're a scalper, you're cooking. You love that 3% shit. You love the 5% shit. So guys, this is your time to shine. And if you want scalping, well, we're doing that in Chart Hackers. So I've got a scalping team in there for you guys. I got the Kings, I got Jay, and I got Panda doing their scalping business. So if that's your thing, come to Chart Hackers and scalp with us. Not really my thing. I want bigger moves out of the market, but you can see absolute pain at the moment. So here we go. Looks like a nice little capitulation here on BTC as we speak. So first level, we're going to be watching for some kind of reaction here. 94,460. You can see why this is an interesting zone. You can see we've got a wick in the way here, so looking for some kind of reaction there. Then we've got 94 on the button. Now we know both of these zones, we do have a little bit of liquidity in this area. Let's just reset this for you guys, and we can see if they're doing just a little liquidity grab here, and it's parked right here. Look at this. It's sitting here, nice juicy yellow mark here at 94,300, that type of region. So we could be getting a little liquidity grab quickly, and then maybe they're going to send this thing up again. But in terms of a reversal today and the size of the move, I mean, these guys really came, and they dished it out. Look at that. I mean, it's 2% down, probably 2% up as well. So a proper choppy day. But again, lessons out there for everybody. What can we do? Look at the VWAP. Look how beautifully this VWAP came into play again for us, and the wick fill as well. So just some nice little tip there. The VWAP and the wick fill, we know the market makers love to come and fill some wicks to the upside, also obviously to the downside as well. So we're not going to talk about resistance zones right now because I'm sure everybody's got max squeaky bum time. But for me, let's see during the show, if we get a bounce of this 94K region, that is going to cover our current liquidity situation, and maybe we're going to get some action out of that. Okay, so James, keep your eyes on that BTC chart. And how's my poll going? I want to see how you guys are feeling. Are we going to get am I getting rinsed here? If I'm buying Solana, I've started buying a little bit of Sol. Am I going to get absolutely rinsed here? And I said, is it time to buy Sol? And you guys, 34% yes, if you want to get rinsed. Yes, the FUD won't last long. Okay, yes. So DCA vibes, yeah, I think, look, it makes sense. And then 21% said DCA down to $8. I mean, I think we'll buy it at $8, but maybe we'll be panicking. If Sol goes to $8, I think there'll be quite a high level of panic by then. Okay, so if anybody was wondering, just looking at that BTC chart, this is our current situation. This is how we are all feeling at the moment. And I actually got a very special tweet. James, where's my tweet? I can't find it now. I've lost it. Hopefully it's going to show up. It's going to show up. There it is. That's what we need in our lives. Okay, this is exactly what we need. And we're getting chopped up here completely, absolutely smashed. And Lark Davis, he actually posted this laugh here today. He says, Mom, why are we so rich? And she says, because Daddy diamond handed through the months of consolidation in the 25 bull market. Fuck me. I don't know. I mean, Brett, Popcat, Myro, Ponky. What are you diamond handing there? You diamond handing to zero at the moment. I see JR's ready to get rinsed here. Rave ZA says wife changing rinsage. Literally single now. It's going well, bro. It's going well. Hang in there, bro. Hang in there. Hang in there. Okay, so, you know, look, I mean, if you had diamond hands on all these things, you feeling a deep burn. Imagine holding Arweave at $45, $48. Now it's what, 8? It's heading to 7, you know, it's coming. And Chris wants to take Sol to 420. So the bids are coming through again. Guys, remember, the lowest bid's going to win here. It's absolutely going to win. And Ocan01 says he really misses Gary Gensler all of a sudden. And I just didn't understand him well. Well, guys, it's been an absolute mess. And I think everybody is jumping on the Argentinian president's 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗪𝗍, his Libra token. Now, we covered that on Sunday. I covered that on Monday. So we're not going to get too deep into that at the moment. But we know the whole market is blaming this whole Solana thing on this dude. Okay, and just a reminder what went down here. He retweeted again yesterday. He told people how you can buy it. And this thing pumped again. I think it pumped during the show. So he's not done with whatever his plan is. He's not quite done. And for those of you who want to find out some of the connections and stuff, I showed you this tweet yesterday. You can read this thing on Bubble Maps. You can see how they connected Melania token to the Libra token, to the same guys, the same team that was behind it. It's an absolute dog show over there. And people are calling scammer all over the place. And you got to love this. Doesn't this look familiar? Who recognizes this guy? This is Sam Bankman-Fried disguised as our Argentinian president. I mean, like for like at the moment. So the people aren't happy. Okay, the people just aren't happy at the moment. And then in terms of the FTX payment that starts today, I mean, I actually love this shit. You gotta love this shit. So the payments were in USD at 2022 prices. Look at this. If you had one BTC, you're getting 18K. If you had one Sol, you're getting 15. If you had one ETH, fuck it, guys, you're getting 2.5. You're absolutely cooking here at the moment with your ETH. So diamond hands on ETH there, and that did play out. What was that comment there at James? What did he say there? I missed that one. What do we got there? You had one up there now. It said, no, not bullish on undies, right? It was something else. I don't need to shower anymore. Oh, because I keep getting rinsed. Okay. Here we go. Diddy soulmate coming in hot. Chaos is shouting moo. Now, these guys, I wonder if there's going to be a bit more rinsage here today. Chaos called a beautiful trade on hackers earlier today. And Chaos, let me know. Did you take profit there? I hung on to my dupe for that 5%, and then I got the round trip. So I'm a little bit annoyed. Let us know in the chats there. And James is getting some FTX refund soon. James, where are you putting it, bro? Are you putting it in Popcat, Ponky, Myro? Where are you putting it, bro? Let us know what you're doing with your FTX, what you're doing with your FTX money. Are you buying maybe some more undies, perhaps? Okay. Here's a tweet. Just a little bit of bull source for anybody feeling under pressure. Coin Compass says sellers are gone, supply is drying up. Now that's supposed to be bullish in these super bearish conditions at the moment. So there's a little bit of hope. Now this is the BTC chart as well, so it's not helping your Ponky position. It's not helping your Brett position and all these other shit coins. Your Fartcoin position, which we're looking at today. And guys, if you stick around long enough, I've got ARC possible entry coming in a few more percent. I've got Fartcoin possible entry coming in a few more percent there as well. Okay, make money, travel, enjoy. Says she puts her FTX money to trade with hackers. Not the worst plan, okay, not the absolute worst plan. James, tinfoil hat on, urgently, please. Yesterday we touched on the audit for the gold in the US. Now they said they want to audit Fort Knox, but remember the gold's all over the place in America. And one of the theories was that they had less gold than they said they had. But then another theory came out today, and you know James is a bit of a tinfoil man, and he actually shared this with me. So talk to me. What's the story here?
Well, that picture there, that is from when the U.S. was in Iraq and when they got Saddam Hussein, right? And he had massive gold stores, right?
I remember this.
Yeah, that's what's creeping around going, well, what if they find out there's actually way more gold than what they're supposed to have somehow from all the gold they've collected from all of these countries where they deliver freedom? You never know. It could happen. And gold would plummet then. If that's the case, if there's an excess of it, they find out there's more supply than they thought, gold would be in trouble. That's a whole different story.
Guys, the theories, they all over the place. Let's wait and see what the audit does. But there's arguments for too much gold. There's arguments for missing gold. So we're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be
spicy. On top of that, there's been gold for the past few weeks, months has been flying into the U.S. from everywhere. They've been calling in their gold that's been held at the Bank of England, Dubai, different places. Yeah, so maybe they were aware that this audit was coming and they're just telling us slowly and they're making sure that the coffers are filled. I don't know.
Okay, well, anyway, somebody is panicking. I can tell you that much. Somebody that works there is panicking. They're shitting themselves. Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about this. We'll keep moving. Okay, we'll talk about this over the next couple of weeks here, and we'll cover the story. And there was a nice comment saying these are actually egg cartons sprayed in gold. Okay, that could be nice and light if you want to bring it across the ocean. Much easier to manage. But look, in terms of the US stock market, and obviously crypto absolutely wrecked at the moment, and especially the altcoins, disgusting. S&P, we are still at all-time highs. No need to be bearish just yet. Okay, we might get a little bit of divergence playing out here, so this is something to look out for. We could potentially get some divergence here, a little bit bearish, and then we might get a little move to the downside. But in terms of the S&P, well, don't we just wish the altcoins were trading like the S&P? We'd be super happy at the moment as well. And Matt says Fort Knox looks like his trading account, and Chaos says Fort Knockers. Okay, guys, let's go. Okay, Bitcoin in the zone now. We'll keep watching. This is the 2-hour chart. Remember, we get the best reversals when we get our reversal prints on, say, the 1 hour, the 15 minutes on BTC, when we tie into those hot zones here. So let's take a look here. And we're still quite a little while away here from some kind of reversal. Maybe we get a divergence print. Let's see what they give us over the next few minutes. Let's see how that's going to play out. Now, in terms of the big levels that we discuss often, and this is for the guys holding spot and the relaxed traders, 95. We want a candle close above this region. You can see tons of wickage here in that zone. We want this candle close above that area. That should eventually take us back to that 100K region. If we start closing under these levels, guys, it's going to be a journey to the downside, and it's probably going to look like this over a couple of days. So you might get that, then you'll get a pump up, might get a little bit of euphoria, and then they're going to come and bring it back down. So don't be surprised if we get a candle close under that 95 and for a day or two we pump back in there. I would be super cautious. Okay, but we'll cover this obviously every day. I'm here every single day. Yes, sir.
Don't look at the USDT chart. It's
I don't want to.
No,
I don't want to.
Don't. That comment there, don't look at it. Apparently everyone's selling their FTX claims. Man.
And Mark says, please sell. I'll buy your bags. Okay, I'll buy your bags. Okay, let's go. Dominance. So this was, this was really clutching at straws earlier today. And it is potentially still on the table for us here, this current dominance situation. And we have had a bounce now, as you can see, and we front ran our major alt wreckage zone. So this was the altcoin wreckage area. That is where I was looking to get rinsed on alt. So if we dropped into that major horizontal, that is where I anticipated the main wreckage was going to happen. But it's obviously now been front run, and it's been front run like not on a decent level. It was just randomly in the middle of nowhere. It's reversed. Okay, so obviously responding to headlines and news and things like that, and the FUD obviously that is out there at the moment. So dominance looking bullish. If there's a little bit of hopium here for anyone sitting in altcoins, we are pushing into a 618. You can see we have been rejecting on this thing all day. Okay, and this is like absolute hopium. I mean, we're squeezing hopium water out of a rock here from the desperados at the moment. So 61.5% may get a rejection here in dominance. If we do get this rejection in dominance, then we might get some kind of relief bounce on the altcoins. Okay, so lessons from earlier today from a 5% dupe trade is if we get a 5% bounce in the market, if we get an 8% bounce in the market, fuck me, I'm taking profits. Okay, this market is absolutely brutal at the moment. AJ's trying to send BTC dominance to 70%. AJ, please, bro, calm down. Okay, please don't do that. Okay, we don't want to go there. So dominance, guys, you know, green dominance, very bad for altcoins, okay? Red dominance, much better for altcoins. We just want this thing to reject and start drifting lower. Now, if there is another push in dominance, I want you guys to look 62.2%. Look in that region for your next rejection, 62.2%. So if you're getting extra rinsed while it's pushing up, that is where you're looking for that next rejection, that next possible bounce there on dominance and on the altcoins. Crypto Cosmo says he's shorting. He wants to send it to 89. Look, guys, there's levels there. Okay, there are levels. Let's just confirm. You know, we've got 91 and we've got this 88. It's on the table. Look at that. We've got this whole wick that hasn't been dealt with. That's your 89K there, bro. So it is on the table, and yeah, we can't take it off. We can't even take, and I don't want to scare anybody, but we can't take the 72K horizontal retest off the table yet. Super bullish down here. I mean, imagine what Twitter's going to look like with Bitcoin at 72K. Imagine the smell on Twitter if we do eventually go back there. And remember, it's very reasonable to go back there. This is just a major horizontal retest. We've seen this a million times over on 15-minute candles, on 1-hour candles. You get the pump, you get the retest, and then you get the move up. So 72K, but we'll talk about it when we need to. Right now, we're watching our 95 and we're watching our 91 at the moment. And then in terms of total 3, look, to say we weren't expecting this would be a lie. I mean, we've been talking about this total 3 chart for the last week or 3 and waiting for it to go down. So we are moving into a bounce zone on total 3. This is the 850 billion region that we've been looking for. And finally, we are going there. Is this the moment we're going to get a bounce at 850 billion? If not, we're filling this wick, guys, and it's going to get ugly. The altcoins are going to get dirty. If you are feeling under pressure on some of your alts now with a 6% dump in the total 3, remember another 6 to 10, 11% there. It's going to put these alts under a little bit more pressure. We're probably going to get sold at 120. We're probably going to get sold at 85. And we'll talk about these levels now because I am covering Sol for you guys. And I see Enough and Eyes in the house. Hello, sir. I hope you're surviving there, Mark. I hope you're coping there with this absolute dog show. And remember, everybody, and this is a message for everybody, this chop is brutal. Things are really difficult at the moment. There's small moves, and I understand your frustration. I understand the pain, and we just got to get through this chop. If we can get through this period, we've seen these types of periods before, and it's difficult to say this is worse than ever, because back then when we were getting chopped around, a few months back, and things like that, we were saying, well, that was the worst ever. So all I know is, and all I can tell you guys is, from being in this market for so long, things change very quickly. And then next thing, you're pumping, we're printing money, we're throwing handbags around, everyone's happy again. Okay, so hang in there. Everybody watching the show, hang in there. Use this as an opportunity to learn something. If you're getting frustrated with your trading, learn something. Why don't you learn a new skill? Why don't you do the accelerator course? Okay, here it is. I'm doing my masterclass in 5 days' time. Join the accelerator course. It's in the show description. Just go here in the show description under more, sign up for the accelerator course, learn a new skill while things are messy. Learn a few things here, and let me guide you through it. I've made a very simple course to hopefully help you guys understand how the TA works and how I tie it in with everything. Okay, so do something new. Okay, let's talk ETH. Okay, so Ali Chart says the most critical support level for ETH is at 2,425, where 10 million wallets accumulated 62.4. Now, is he saying it's 62.4 million ETH, or is it $62.4 million? Either way, okay, it's a massive amount of ETH. And I just wanted to show you guys very briefly why that is an interesting zone. So this is a level we marked out previously for you guys, and this is our 618. This is a major daily level as well for ETH. Look at this, 2,400. Look how beautifully that ties in with this tweet now. We know there's tons of buyers in that area, 2,400. So we know that this is now a high confluence zone that we need to pay attention to. This is a massive, massive area for us. And in terms of my ETH position and my ETH trade, the system remains the same. I'm buying it here at 2.6. I'm buying at 2.5, and we're buying some more at 2.4. Now, if we start losing 2.4, it's going to get filthy, and we most likely testing those major lows there, 2,100. So it's going to get a bit awkward down there. Okay, it's going to get messy, but you can see our 5-day reversal has triggered. And now, based on previous information, when we trigger our 5-day reversal, we get a little bit of chop for a period, okay, a month or 3, and then we get some kind of move. So hopefully we get some kind of chop here, and then we get some kind of move out of ETH. So that is the game plan there at the moment for me on ETH. And we're not going to harp on it too long. We know everybody is praying and crying for this ETH revival. I don't know. Is it ever going to happen? I don't know. You know, it's you would have thought this was the opportunity. With Sol falling over, with Dupe falling over, you would have thought ETH was the time to shine now. But BNB is stealing some of the light. I see Sonic is starting to steal some of the limelight as well. So we're going to cover some of those. Now, let's talk Sol. And because I don't think we're done, I think we need to really focus on Solana here. And this is just crypto guys, you know, allegedly jumping from Sol to ETH. But right now it seems like they're jumping from Sol to BNB, from Sol to Sonic, and all these things at the moment. So they're basically jumping anywhere except Sol. And Cointelegraph reporting late yesterday with the FTX repayment starting on March the 1st, 11.2 million Sol worth over 2 billion could hit the market, adding potential sell pressure. Now, we did discuss this yesterday. We looked at the pros and cons of that whole situation, and Banter dropped this today from Artemis, and they're saying despite the sentiment, Sol is actually seeing more inflows than any chain except Base. Okay, Solana delivers, ignore the noise. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, interesting information, and I fucking love this. I just thought this was such quality. So Run is putting his eyebrow on the line, apparently. Okay, he's betting He's betting that Sol outperforms ETH until November. The winner keeps both brows. The losers do not. Who are you betting on, Sol or ETH, James? Who are you betting on, Sol or ETH?
Who's he betting?
I don't know exactly. He's betting somebody, but he's doing it. So what do you got, Sol or ETH? I'm going to lean for Sol.
I think ultimately Sol. ETH will do its thing, but I don't think it's going to do anywhere near what people were hoping for, and Sol in the end is going to be the winner.
I agree.
I would like to see him without his eyebrows, though.
Yes,
so
and
maybe we should push for ETH.
I'd love to do this bet with him, but you know what? I just feel like I'm going to lose an eyebrow for no reason, because I actually believe, I have that conviction in Sol more than ETH. Okay, but I mean, what a great bet. Okay.
Yeah, I hope there's actually a physical person he's betting that's going to lose their eyebrows. That'd be hilarious. It's like Sheldon with his blondie hair that he had there for that bet a while back, right?
Exactly. Okay, it's time. It's time for some betting. I'm not against a couple of bets. Just don't ever try and make me shave my beard. Okay, maybe we'll change the color. But don't make me shave it. Okay, that's never going to happen. Okay, Marty Party is saying $1.2 billion of shorts will be liquidated when Sol gets back above $200. Now, the key word here is when. He's very confident, okay? When. And if we get ETF news or FTX creditors re-enter Sol, there will be a short squeeze on Sol. That is his opinion, okay? And so Tim says, no, he took a bet with Fifi, okay? So here we go. When do we flip back to Sol? Now, this is it's going to end soon, okay? We are moving into support a lot quicker than we thought. We spoke about this one yesterday, and this thing is just accelerating to the downside. So we got a bounce coming for Sol versus ETH pretty soon at the 0.55 region. It's coming in hot here, and that is going to be, for me, it's going to be a bounce zone. We might not, print new highs after that. We might still go lower, but in terms of a bounce zone, that makes sense to me. And the only concern is this divergence is like, it's playing out fast, and this thing's hardly even moved. This thing is hardly even sneezed. So I'd hate to know what this looks like if it starts going down to those types of levels on the weekly. Now, remember, it's a weekly divergence here, so it could be, leaning for an extended move to the downside. But in terms of bounce zones, 0.55. So we're nearly there to actually flip back, in theory, from ETH to Sol. Okay, it's around the corner. And now, in terms of some Sol plays, now these are high risk moves. Now, I mean, yesterday we covered why Sol was getting so much FUD. We know about the unlocks. We know about the Libra thing. Everyone on Twitter is absolutely abusing it, saying it's a casino for what? For gamblers? What are the phrases there? It's everything. They're just destroying it. Okay, yeah. They're just rinsing it. And it's typical. We've seen this before. This is not. It's not my first rodeo. Okay, we know that Sol likes to get some kind of revival survival here. And Take Break says, are we bouncing yet? Let me check. No, we're not bouncing yet, bro. We're not bouncing yet. So let's talk Sol. So risky play if you want to try this thing. Okay, I've taken on a risky play. The reason being, I just felt like the shorts are piling up here. And we know when everybody gets too smart and they start trying to short it, we sometimes get a snapback reversal. We sometimes get some kind of squeeze. So I've taken on a little bit of risk here on Sol, and I'm looking to ladder in on a position anything from this current region. So it's 163 down to say about 156 is what I'm looking at. So what I've done here is I've tied it in with these wicks to the downside. I've also tied it in with the horizontals, and I do have some order block confluence here as well in that region. So you can see I've got my order blocks here in that zone. So there's a couple of reasons telling me there's a chance that in spite of the FUD and everything, that Sol gets a few bids in that type of region and then might have a bounce. And that could obviously accelerate some kind of squeeze, because anybody who's shorting this thing late is going to have their stops at around about that 160, 159, and then they're going to start having to close if the price does start moving up. So it's a risky play, and I've taken that on WeX. So for me, it's laddering in from the current level down to about, say, even 157, 156 you could look at there if you do get that low. And that for me is the bounce area. And then I'm looking at our oscillator on the 12 hour. I mean, this thing is absolutely rinsed out. This thing is absolutely at the depths of hell. And if we take a look at the last time we saw this oscillator resetting like this on the 12 hour on Solana, it was here. And we had some consolidation, but we did have quite a big bounce. And Deborah all of a sudden wants Biden back. So now we want the old A-team. We want Biden, we want Gensler back. What is going on here? Trump promised us so much. He sent us up. Now we're getting rinsed. Now we want them back. It's amazing. It's unreal. BBG. Okay, so in terms of the risk I've taken on, I'm going to show you that setup in a second. I'm going to show you that trade. But 12 hour, you can see heavily oversold. We know there's FUD in the market. This could be an absolute suicide mission. So just, practice your risk management. I haven't gone massive here on this idea. And remember, there could be a lot of downside for Sol still to come. So if there is Bitcoin losing levels and, the market starts falling over, we're talking total 3 start filling that wick, we could easily see Sol once again at 120. And that is going to be our next area where we're going to be looking for longs on Sol. So whenever we hit a new zone, we must always just look a little bit lower to our next major level, and then we can at least have the next plan. So if our trade fails in that type of area, you're probably going to find a bit of chop all the way down, but they might eventually just take us to that 120 level, and then we'll get some kind of long out of it. Okay, so don't panic. Don't panic too much into Sol. Just keep it light. Okay, don't be too aggressive. And this is my Sol trade on WeX at the moment. And I just wanted to remind you guys, if you want free money, just sign up to WeX. If you've been rinsed in the last couple of days, here is a way that you can get free money from these guys. Look at this. If you sign up with the WeX link in the show description, they're giving you $100 USD to add a recovery phone number and email. Okay. And they're saying you need to KYC as well, $20 they're giving you. Then they're giving you all sorts of futures bonuses. So if you are signing up, just make sure you go to the section where you can claim your rewards. But they are throwing money at you guys at the moment on WeX. So that is also in the show description. Just go into the show description. You'll see WeX is there. Also, Bank, my other trading partner, is there as well. You'll find everything that I talk about under that show description. Okay, let's talk rinsage. Let's talk the current plan. And this is my game plan at the moment. So you guys know I've got this ETH position that I want to try and build up to 2,400. If we do get a little bit more pain, we're gonna have to figure that one out. But in terms of my ETH strategy, that is what I'm looking at. So that's an isolated position here that I'm busy building. I've got orders lower down, ready and waiting as well. And then in terms of Sol, this is obviously a risky play. You can see I've got another limit order at 158 for Sol. So what I'm looking for, if we do get a little bit more weakness here, I want to pick up that limit order at 158. But for me, the cut zone is going to be a close under that 155 region. So if we start getting candle closes under those types of levels, I'm going to start cutting the Sol trade because I'm wrong. Okay. And I don't want to sit in a situation where I'm trying to prove myself that I wasn't wrong, because if you're wrong, take the medicine and move on. Okay, keep it simple. Otherwise, you get lost in these positions and you can get rinsed deep. So based on what I'm looking at here, if I'm wrong, cutting the position, we know there's going to be multiple areas where Sol could bounce along the way, okay? And we know there'll be multiple opportunities. I mean, you can just see these little levels here all the way down. So there will be tons of opportunity later on for Sol if this fails. And I'm not going to stick around too long to find out. So close under 155. I'm bailing on Solana, and I'm trading this one obviously on 𝗬𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪. Now, let's talk Jupiter. Now, this thing was, there's a scandal here. I mean, there's an absolute scandal here on this Jupe. And AI-XBT, which is also AI agent getting rinsed at the moment in the charts. But AI-XBT says Meteora ties create perfect storm with Jupe. Okay. The unraveling. Jupe's trouble started with an X account compromise on Feb 6. Moonshot acquisition revealed on February 18, previously undisclosed. Anyway, long story. If you want to read some of the drama here about Jupe and what is going down, you can follow AI-XBT. They're going to explain this. And then I've got James, who's going to give me the TLDR on what is going on at the moment with Meteora and Jupe and the link between the two. What is going on here?
Well, that's it. The Meteora CEO stepped down today, right? He resigned today because, yeah, they've been caught. They've both been caught. They're sniping the tokens coming on the platform, knowing beforehand that they're coming out. It's just total insider trading. That's why everybody's so pissed at the meme, so pissed at Sol. I mean, it's not a shock to me. I knew that the whole thing was a scam. You're supposed to get in and get out, but I guess most people had no idea how it worked. It's been exposed, and that's why it's so filthy out there. And why Solana's getting so punished.
And there was something like they were saying they weren't involved with Meteora. Now it's come out, okay? It's unraveling so quickly. This is what Beanie says. Now, I don't know if this is confirmed, but this is a tweet that I picked up. It's unraveling so quickly. In the past hour, we found out that Jupiter owner, 𝗬𝗢𝗟, is the real owner of Meteora.
Yeah. No, that's true.
The plot, yeah,
they're intertwined. Turns out it's all connected. They're all just massive insider trading where they're all tipping each other off and sniping these launches and making so much money. On top of that, they were making hundreds of millions of dollars just in fees from these things, but then they were screwing everybody in the background on top of that. Just greedy as shit.
So, I mean, I like this. As it turns out, DeFi on Sol isn't so decentralized. The playbook is scripted. Meteora is quarterbacking the most egregious. What? Talk to me.
Egregious.
Insider cabal we've ever seen. If you're playing a poker game and you look around the table and you can't tell who the sucker is, it's you.
It's all of us. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, it's an absolute fucking dog show out there. But in terms of Jupe, does Jupe have another life? Okay, is it going to survive the mess? And I suspect it will. Okay, these things blow over, and if people are using it and it's collecting fees and all these things, yeah, it's potentially going to blow over. And in terms of possible trading opportunities on this thing, we've got 2 weekly levels here. We've got 2 big weekly levels here in play for us. And even if this thing is going to go to zero, it's going to bounce, on these types of levels. These are the types of zones where you get some kind of action. So in terms of a big weekly that is coming in hot now for you guys, 0.65 is what we're going to be watching. 0.65 is the next big level. Now we can dial in on this thing on Jupe, and you can look at this absolute filth from today. So we had a nice move down onto the weekly level earlier today. We went for a long there on hackers, got a 5% bounce, and then they absolutely fucked this thing over again. And now it is dropping. So Michael says Sui getting hammered as well. Look, guys, I think everything's getting a little bit hammered here at the moment, but if you guys are looking for scalps, if you're looking for plans on some of these tokens, what you can do is you can focus on the main zones, the hot zones, the big weekly levels, okay? And then you want to tie them in to reversals on the oscillator, okay? We're trying to keep it super simple here. And when we get the reversal prints on the various time frames, that's often a trigger. Now, obviously, we have tons of FUD. We have lots of sell pressure on Jupe, so it might be slightly different this time. But in terms of what you're looking for, in terms of big levels, 0.65 to 0.66 looks like a zone where we should get some kind of reaction there. And by the time we hit that area, we should be getting our second print or second reversal print on the 4 hour for Jupe, which is what we're going to be looking for. Now, if you go into the 2 hour as well, you're going to pick up a couple of things. And you can see earlier today, they printed bullish divergence off the weekly level, and it was a nice little move, and then they absolutely rinsed it back down. But these are the types of things you want to be picking up on these oscillators. They generally tell you when you're going to get those reversals. Now, this 1 hour looks a bit messy here. We need this 1 hour to start reversing here and give us a divergence print, and then we'll be good again on dupe. So in terms of big levels for me on dupe, 0.66, watch that zone. It makes sense to me that we get a bounce there, and then we're going to take out the shorts at some point, and those bears are going to get rinsed, and then they might continue the move lower down. So at some point we'll get a push up, and we'll probably take that out, and then they're going to maybe bring it back down if the FUD hasn't gone away. Okay, so if they're still FUDding us after that, that's going to be a different story. Now, in terms of, Sol being weak and opportunities and things like that, we've now focused on Sol today. We focused on dupe, but there's another Sol project that could be interesting, and it's not great on the charts at the moment, but it's Pyth or Pith, whatever you guys want to call this thing. And basically what's happened today is Grayscale launches the Grayscale Pyth Trust. Okay, now I love the comments. Question marks. But why? Why? Like, why would you do that? Isn't this the biggest shitcoin in history? But it's basically link on Solana, this thing. And that's, that is why people are, or certain people are pretty bullish on it. 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 is in the house. Hello, sir. Hello, Captain. How are you, sir? Okay, so if you want to talk Pyth, now there's obviously planning behind this. If Grayscale's doing that, there's obviously thought process behind this thing. Maybe these guys know something we don't. Maybe they've got some plans with this. So in terms of Pyth, looking at this as raw as possible, you can see on the weekly chart, we do have a reversal print. Okay, so that is a good start for us. But in terms of the weekly chart, we've lost major weekly levels, and it's not looking great. All we've done is push back and retested, and now we've rejected now on Pyth. So if somebody is interested in Pyth with that news, it's lower than when it launched. I mean, I remember trading this thing at 25. We were trading it all the way down here back in the day, and thinking that was the absolute bottom. We hit that there again, got some nice moves out of that thing. Now we've actually lost it. So in terms of Pyth, if Grayscale thinks it's a good investment, maybe it's worth looking at some kind of DCA. Robin likes Pyth at $5. Okay, just don't buy the top. Okay, just buy it now then. Okay, if you want it to go higher. So in terms of a DCA play, cool. In terms of a trade, well, this thing is sitting at major resistance. You've got big levels here in front of you at 23. That whole region is a major problem. So in terms of if you're looking for a trade, okay, look for support above 23, 24. When you're getting candle closes above there on the weekly candles, then it's time to take a position if you're looking for a trade. And then we're going to look at some moves to probably the 200-day MA looks reasonable to me. And that's going to be about a 50%. If they do push it higher, maybe 100%. Let's not get too excited or too ahead of ourselves. Right now, let's reclaim 23, 24. Let's get a weekly close above that. Then we can start looking at buying this stuff on spot, and then we can get going. Laugh out loud, DJen, Mike Tyson voice. I'm getting Pyth off. Okay, guys, who else is in the chats? Is everybody alive? Are you guys surviving out there? Let me know. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Syed, I've sorted you out. Okay, I think I've sorted you out now. So yesterday, Syed was talking in the chats that he was waiting for something. Syed, you sorted out. Okay, as far as I know, it is happening there for you. Okay, let's go. What's next? The casino is closed, says Ash. Okay, this is 𝗬𝗓𝗏𝗏. He says the casino is closed. Sonic is open for real business. Okay, so obviously taking advantage on Sol and all the FUD. Now we're looking at Sonic. Is it Sonic time? Okay, so let's look at it. And considering the market is so shit, I wanted to give you guys the most, objective view as possible that I could give you. And I opened the Sonic chart looking for some hope. I was like, maybe Sonic's going to be the one today. Maybe this thing's going to rip 20%. I opened it immediately, and I picked up, we've got tons of bearish divergence here on Sonic. It feels like we just can't win at the moment. So what is bearish divergence? Well, the price is pushing higher, and the oscillator is trending lower, and we're getting reversal prints. Now, this doesn't work every time, obviously, but when the divergence plays out, you generally get downside. So, for me, in terms of a new or a fresh Sonic trade on a higher time frame, I would be a little bit cautious here at the moment, at least until we are dropping back down to hit that trend round about 50, 51. That looks like a reasonable zone for me where we could look for some potential longs on the 8-hour time frame, for example. But you can see right now that's a little bit bearish there, so that thing could be rolling over for us. Then in terms of lower time frame DGen plays, now I wanted to cater for you guys because I know you guys are desperados for some action, and we all are We're all desperate for some greenery, okay? We all want to see it. So I've given you two options here on Old Phantom, okay, which is now Sonic. And there's two levels. Number one is your degen level. Now this is for the degen players out there. You know exactly who you are, and that is 55. So what I would say here, be super careful. 555. Be really careful here. There's a possible bounce on that zone. Okay, this is the 2-hour chart, so take it with a pinch of salt. Ideally, you want to get a reversal on the 2-hour, but if you have to, you're going to have to dial in on the 1-hour. You want to try and time that 555 with a reversal on this 1-hour oscillator. So what you want to see is something along those lines when this thing is settling on to 555. So look out for 555. That could be your bounce zone on Sonic, and that's the degen play. Now, in terms of a more well-mannered and well thought out trade, or a well thought out setup, I would say lean towards 5-1. Lean towards that area. Why is that interesting to me? Rising trend, order blocks, horizontals in play, 382 fib, and I've got an anchored VWAP that by the time we get there is probably going to be pushing up into that zone. So that tells me this box over here between 52 and 50 makes the most sense. So you might see something like that. You might see a short-term pump up, and then they might come back down for that type of region. So look out for something like that on Sonic. Okay, degens, be careful. Okay, don't get rinsed here on this thing. And remember, all these charts go straight into chart hackers during or directly after the show, and they're going to be sitting there for you guys, so you'll have access to them. Okay, just make sure you watch the show for context. You don't want to blindly start playing with these charts without listening to what I have to say. Okay, so Sonic traders, those are your levels. Pay attention to those. Then if everybody's leaving Sol and it's absolutely such a shit coin and they're not going into ETH, where are they going? Okay, so it looks like they're still pushing this BNB narrative out there, and it seems like there is a little bit of money flowing there. So PancakeSwap flipped Sol in 7-day revenue, and PancakeSwap did 15 million, sold at 14.8, and the BNB trend is real. Now, I remember the Tron trend as well. It was fun, and then it just disappeared. Okay, and I'm assuming it's the same. We had the Sui trend. What were the other ones? We had a couple of other ecosystems, Base. We had all that stuff. It comes and it goes. And yeah, I mean, you just don't want to get too caught up in these things. But I thought, let's look at BNB. And it's funny, I dropped in hackers today that I've just closed my BNB short, and now we are fucking losing levels. We could have held on. Anyway, okay, so anybody that took that BNB short with me, when was that? Probably on Friday. It's now playing out. I closed it on 640. This was a nice support level for us, okay? We had VWAP, we had nice 382, so that looks like a typical bounce zone. And actually, to be fair, it did bounce, okay? It did bounce off that zone, and you can see we had a nice green reaction there off BNB. And I'm out of it now. So unfortunately, but the BNB 3%. I mean, it's disgusting. Who wants to trade a 3% move? Okay, we want bigger moves here, guys. We need bigger ones. I demand it. Okay, so where's BNB going to next? For me, I think you're going to get about 610 is going to be your next zone that you're watching. 610, guys. This is the one. Okay, look for a reaction there. I think you'll get something. Look at that. Nice horizontals, nice cluster here in that region. So 614 to 607. Watch that zone. Hopefully by then, you've got a reversal print coming out on that 4-hour. And most likely by then, you're going to see your 2-hour as well. That is going to start playing out for you. Okay, so look out for that. And Daniel says Fartcoin is the bigger move. Guys, that is why I'm bringing you farts. There's nothing better than trading farts in a room with your friends. It's an absolute banger. What a vibe. Do you concur? I think you do.
Always good to trade farts. Hackers stinks.
Exactly.
Just stinks. Everybody's farting in there all day long.
No, it stinks in there. It absolutely stinks in there. Okay, so we're going to do it. Let's first cover Cake. Okay, so PancakeSwap, what do you do on BNB? Where's the money flowing? It's PancakeSwap. So let's look at Cake. And I mean, yeah, I don't have high conviction on this thing. But in terms of Cake, we did touch on it last week. It is doing better relative to Sol tokens. We know that. We can see that. And there is hype. If the hype is going to continue, there is still potentially 100% move on Cake. So in terms of a safe play, as a spot play, it could play out. Here's Cake on the weekly. Look at this, printing bullish divergence, printing a blue dot on the weekly. I mean, you don't really get that very often. In fact, I've never seen that. So the blue dot's quite a big reversal sign there. It might have something to do with the size of this candle, unfortunately. But in terms of where Cake can go, 5 is a possibility. If this BNB narrative picks up and things really start flying, we're going to need a Bitcoin bounce. Okay, number one, if Bitcoin bounces nicely, pushes back over 100K, BNB is going to rip. We know that. Cake's going to rip. They're going to bring out all the memes on the BNB chain. They're going to bring out AI agents on the BNB chain. CakeSwap is going to be very busy. CakeSwap is going to be printing tons of fees. So that is effectively what you're going to be playing against. That is what you're going to be looking for. So in terms of where it can go, I think 5 would be a reasonable target there, but Bitcoin's going to need to be performing. Sure, that was an alarm. I haven't had that in a while. Those were my bots there. Okay, oh, here we go. Okay, guys, who wants a trade? Okay, let's try it. Let's go. Let's trade 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's finally in my zone. My alarm just went off. Okay, let's open a 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 here. Okay, I'm going to take a small 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 position here. That was the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 alarm. We waited all day for that. Let's take some 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Okay, there we go. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, locked and loaded. Okay, so there's 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. We've just hit our alarm. Okay, that's cool. Look at the reaction already here. This thing happened pretty quickly. So what has happened here on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and it's dropped into a wick fill, it's dropped into an order block, and it's dropped into a 786. So that is why I was interested in that. Oh, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Look at 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 's hit our zone as well. Okay, guys, there could be entries here now. Okay, woo, shit's getting spicy here. Okay, this is where it's going to get spicy. Okay, so 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Let's finish 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. This is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 on the 2 hour. I've waited for this the whole day. Now, what happened earlier with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is we got a massive move, and then they sold it off the VWAP. Now we've dropped into that order block. Is there going to be a bounce? This is such an easy invalidation. If this trade is wrong, you're going to exit at a loss of these lows here. So 877, that's your exit plan. You're exiting under that region there. If you close under 877, you're bailing on this thing. Your next level for me is 837. That is going to be the next level. So I'm going to drop this chart in chart hackers for you guys. You're going to see the 2 levels. Remember, if you are degenning and looking for trades and all these things, always have a plan A, which is your first zone of interest, and now we just hit it, and then have a plan B in case your trade fails. What do you do next? Where's it going? Always understand where this trade could go to, or where the token could go to at some point. So 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's in the zone and trading that long there. Let's see. We're going to close under 877. 877 is my exit plan if we're wrong. Next level, 837. Now, we waited the whole day for this. Hopefully we get more than 2% out of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Okay, let's go ARC. Now, I gave you guys this yesterday. This was an AI agent. Again, waited all fucking day for this. And I said to the hackers, guys, we're waiting. And sometimes you really just need to wait these things out to get to your zone. So in terms of risk, obviously, guys, in terms of risk, this is supreme risk now. These AI agents are super volatile. If Bitcoin sneezes 0.5%, these things drop 5%. It's stuff like that. And they can rinse you out super, super quickly. And just be careful. So in terms of ARC, these are 2 levels we dropped today in hackers. 156. This is a potential area that you want to pay attention to. Let's just see if we're getting something on a lower time frame. We don't want to go, we don't want to ape in here if we're getting absolutely rinsed. So you can see this 2 hours not quite ready. You know, I want to see a nice divergence print here. You can see this 2 hour is actually turning over here. So let's see the 1 hour. Let's see what we got here. Okay, 1 hour is getting closer. Okay, so watch that 1 hour. We're nearly there. And we're getting a reversal on the 15 minutes. Okay, so the key for me is the 2 hour. We want this 2 hour to look sexy. Okay, that 2 hour needs to move for us. But in terms of where do we get a bounce on ARC, look at this chart. Look how rinsed this chart is. Okay, this thing has been absolutely rinsed out over the last while. We are moving into a zone where we should get some kind of reaction. Okay, so in terms of ARC, it's this region here, 155, and then lower down, it's 138. These are your levels. Look for some kind of reaction on the zone. Okay, you don't want this red candle on the 15 just going straight down. Okay, you want this thing to start stopping, consolidating a little bit. You can nibble in those zones. Then you're going to see some kind of structure on the 15 minutes, and then you can start looking to add these things. So that is why I always draw these squiggles here. But essentially what you're looking at, let me draw a picture for you guys as to what you need to see. Well, you want to see something like this. Okay, so you can see it drops in the zone. Then you get some kind of structure in these areas, and then you look for those reversals. And you typically get some kind of trend break out of that as well. So this is what you want to see here. So you don't ape now. You wait for the first bounce. You wait for that first, you wait for this first move here. Then you look for the structure, and then you look for that pump. Okay, so you nibble in those zones like that. you don't ape your full clip. You don't shoot your full shot as it goes in the zone. Okay, you sniff around there, you look, and then you get the action. Then you go. Zen, I don't have ARs. Now, I wonder why it's pumping, and it's most likely a news pump, and it's probably a short opportunity, I would guess.
It's just broken trend. It's moving quite well. I don't know what's happened.
You see, now the problem is out of desperation, people are going to chase it, and then you might get rinsed because they're desperate to make a little bit of extra.
When Bitcoin looks like it's going lower yet too, so.
Okay. So, guys, all I can say, be careful. Let's look at the next one, the FUD. Okay, there's a couple of levels here on FUD, and we are nearly there. We were saying earlier, wait. Okay, we are finally moving into a zone of interest. So if you had the patience and you weren't trading FUD coin all day up here, I really hope you weren't. We just wait. These things come into the zones if you're just patient enough. Now we are at a point where we can start looking a little bit more interested in FUD coin. So let's just take a look and see what type of order blocks we got here in these zones. I'm just looking for confluence here. We need to back these trades up. We need to back these areas up. We need as much in these zones as possible to give us confidence to take advantage of these things. So let's just see what we've got in that area. I don't have an order block on the 4. Let's see if we got something on the 2. They're not giving me something on the 2 yet either. Wait. I still believe in this level though. Maybe it's just too dated. Maybe it's just too long ago. Okay. I like this level on FUD coin, okay? And it's a very easy invalidation as well. You can see what's going on here. Let me just zoom in for you guys. This is the history, okay? So this is the level we are focusing on. You can see what's going on here. We got tons of horizontals and resistance here in that area. Look at that support. So now what we're doing is we're just going across and we're saying, okay, well, we bounced on that region before. Maybe we need to bounce on that again. So what I'm looking for, let's look for this FUD coin dip into that region. You can see my alarm is on, and we're looking for that same type of reaction there on FUD coin. So Adam's been building up a FUD all day, and I'm looking to build one up here. So I'd say 28 to 26. Look around that region. Then I think we're going to be close to some kind of reversal on FUD coin. So almost there on the 2. Let's see on our 4. Okay, 4 is very bottomed out there as well. So 28 to 26, look for some action there. And then always have a backup plan and be prepared to bail. I mean, when the market's like this, you got to be prepared to jump out if you are wrong. Okay, so where can FUD coin go? And I know Chaos is going to absolutely love this, but most likely, 20, okay, is the next one that you're going to look at. So if this current zone doesn't hold, 28 to 26, let it do what it needs to do. Be patient like you were today. That whole move happened all day long. And 20 is where the next possible zone is. And I mean, we need to go that deep just yet. 15. Okay. 15. Don't really want to go to 15. Okay. 28 to 26. I'm looking for longs there. If we move into that zone, I'm going to start laddering into a small position. Remember the secret with these things: small position, big move, low leverage. Okay. Small position, big move, low leverage. That's all you need. And Ivan says, when is Trump going to speak? James, when is Trump going to speak?
Tonight. It's 9 o'clock Eastern, so 8.5 hours. He's doing a live interview on Fox with Elon Musk. It's not a press conference, but you never know. Every time the guy speaks, anything could happen. And we've also got data coming out. I see people asking questions about. There's FOMC minutes are tomorrow that are being released. Yeah. And then unemployment on Thursday.
Big week ahead. Okay, I've got one more for you guys. I got one more for you guys. Super. Now, I haven't looked at this thing in ages, and I was just scrolling through a couple of charts today, and I thought, let's look at Super. I mean, this has always been a nice gaming performer, and this thing has been absolutely rinsed as well. Look at this. Look at the size of this move here on Super. So we went from the highs. What did we get here? A small little sell-off, 73%, little dip there on Super. And now we are moving into quite a big area. There's daily levels in play here on Super. There's also a smaller time frame 786 pool and a trend in that zone. So in terms of a reaction area, I think we're getting close on Super. I think we're going to get something out of this at some point. And the levels I'm watching, and it's actually quite a broad area. I just want to highlight this for you. It's quite a big zone. So your first area is this guy here. This box is 61 to 58. But now the kicker is this level here is a major weekly level as well. Now I'm going to zoom out and show you why it bounced in that area. It's a major weekly level at 54. So it's just something you need to have as a backup plan if that region fails on you. So let's look at the weeklies here. Look at those weekly candles. Look at these weekly clusters in those areas. We know tons of weekly candles generally gives you a strong bounce. Look at that area there. So we know that down to about 54, which is that wick fill, is a strong weekly level that we can pay attention to there on Super. Okay, so you've got two potential scenarios here. What I would suggest is, if you're looking for action, first bit, look for the move into this region. Try and get something going in that area, okay? So you're going to have to play a small little game here. Look around for some action there. If there is a bigger sell-off, the odds on this area holding are pretty strong for at least a bounce. At the very least, especially if we get straight down, if we move straight down quickly in the next few hours, if we go straight into that zone, the odds are pretty strong, I would say, that there is a bounce there, unless this market absolutely capitulates. And Ola Art says, Sol, 150 is coming soon, bro. I can't argue against that, okay? It's just like, the markets, all bets are off here. There's FUD all over the place. Dupe is getting rinsed. It's absolute mess. Guys are talking about going to ETH, going to ADA, going to Sonic, going everywhere. But you know what? They will come back, okay? And even if it's at Sol at 85, they're going to come back and they're going to pump the shit out of this thing. And Vito is going to buy Sol at 8. I concur with that. Okay, guys. It's rough out there. I'll see you guys later. You got your entries. Everything goes into Chart Hackers, guys. Be safe. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Catch you later.